Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to reading for the week of... Oh, no, this is for December 2024. You have this time for a nap card and this loyal heart card. Yes, I think it's time for a nap. We have a bunch of retrogrades going on right now. You might be feeling more tired than usual as well. Wouldn't really surprise me. And again, if you are, then definitely get extra rest. I mean, retrograde times are, definitely a time where if we need extra rest, if we need to sleep a little bit longer, then we probably should. So I would definitely make sure that you're resting, relaxing, recovering at this time. Yep, that loyal heart card could say that you are following your heart more, which again I think is great for fixed signs to be doing. Following their heart, following what their heart is telling them to do. So I think that would be good just in general. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune could be some sort of change in your fortunes, or you kind of like making your fortunes change. We can change our fortunes with the Wheel of Fortune by, the easiest way is to double down on the good things that are happening in your life, but also if there are any challenges, you take care of those things as well just as quickly. Again, things that aren't going well, they only get worse, right? So the Wheel of Fortune says, do not hide or run away from the things that are challenging you, or if there's something you have to take care of it right away. We can also work on our vibrations with this snake right here, so we can match energy with the Wheel of Fortune. The four fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, on this card are all holding books, so we can also learn, and that's another way that we can turn the wheel in our favor. So I think that a lot of you are trying to change your fortunes, and you probably are by doing those things. You have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can represent being sad over something that you've lost. He has lost his taste for wine, but the story of the Five of Cups is usually the Five of Cups represent something that we don't even enjoy any longer. So he's not really grieving the fact that the wine has spilt over. He is sad that he no longer enjoys the taste of wine, something that brought him great joy at one time. So the Five of Cups can be something that you once enjoyed, but you just don't enjoy it any longer. But you could be sad that you don't enjoy something any longer. Again, the secret with the Five of Cups is to see these two cups, and then you get this bridge and this castle. So the Five of Cups says we have to turn around and be grateful for what we do have. What's also interesting is that he has two cups behind him, and then you have the Temperance card, which is two cups. And the Temperance angel is mixing those two cups together. So again, this could be you mixing two things together, or maybe there are two things that you like to do in life, and the Temperance card would say do more of those things, mix them together so that you can find something else that you enjoy. You have the Queen of Swords. Almost every single sign has had the Queen of Swords at the end of the year here, and the Queen of Swords, number one, it could be you, Aquarius, showing up here, but she only has clouds halfway up her body, and it represents the fact that she's clear for the first time. And so a lot of you could be getting a lot of clarity. We have a bunch of retrogrades right now, and we're going to have more planets going retrograde soon, like Mars, for example. And, again, I think that, this retrograde season, if you want to call it that, will actually probably be bringing in a lot of clarity for people. And, I think that if you're gaining clarity on something, that it's perfectly fine to move towards it. Just because it's retrograde doesn't mean that you can't take action on the things that you're getting clarity on. Because if you're getting clarity on it during the retrograde, it's probably because you should take action on it. And we also go up to the Ace of Swords. And so the Ace of Swords is, kind of like a victory or needing to take action to get this crown that's at the top of the sword. And I think that it would be, again, especially if you're like redoing something or revisiting something that you've worked on in the past, then it's perfectly fine to do that work. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Seven of Pentacles. I do think that you are kind of looking at things that you do, just in general. He's looking at all this work that he's done, and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze, So I think the clarity that you could be getting is on things that are a waste of time, or on things that just aren't cutting it for you any longer, and you could be making those decisions, this activity no longer serves me, but this other one does. And again, with the Wheel of Fortune, if we get rid of the bad stuff and double down on the good stuff, then we are taking control of our destiny with the Wheel of Fortune. So, like I said, that's exactly what I would do with this card. Plain and simple. With the Five of Cups, you have the Six of Swords. I think you are moving forward. Like I said, I don't think you're stuck in that Five of Cups any longer. So I think that you're probably moving on to calmer shores. You're moving on to bigger and better things. You do have 2 7s here. 2 7s can represent internal fears that don't exist. So, maybe some of you are a little bit fearful about moving on from something in your life. It could be like some sort of comfort zone or something that has provided comfort. Again, the wine on the 5 of Cups once provided him with comfort, but he doesn't enjoy it anymore, so it can't comfort him any longer. And, I think you're just moving on from something here. It could be anything. With the Queen of Swords, yes, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is great. Again, I think with the clarity of the Queen of Swords, it's like you're finally seeing the things that move forward and the things that move backwards. I feel it's that simple in your reading. It's like there are certain, activities, certain people, places, and things that, move the needle forward, so to speak. And I think there are other things that slow you down. And I think with that 7 of Pentacles, you're just saying, I'm going to get rid of the stuff that slows me down, and I'm going to focus on the things that move me forward. You have this dragon. This is coming up in the area of what's coming in for you. It says ancient wisdom, protector, and magic. You also have this Komodo dragon. It says ferocity, survival instinct, and revolutionary change. Again, Pluto and Aquarius is revolutionary change. So you have Pluto in your sign, and being in your sign, you are probably the sign that is going to change the most during Pluto and Aquarius, which makes perfect sense. But again, I think a lot of you are very focused on, moving forward into the future and creating change in your life. I also think the ancient wisdom part of that dragon is saying there are parts of you that you have always known that you are kind of like expressing more, like, things that you've wanted to do or truths that you want to reveal. All that stuff is popping into my head. You have the 7 of Swords, the Temperance card, and the 5 of Wands. Personally, I like this 7 of Swords. It is a golden card, and golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. So he's stealing these swords from an army in the background here, and he's going to war, but in a different way. So the 7 of Swords is a card of tactics. It represents doing something in a different way. So anything you're trying to accomplish, it basically says, is there a better way to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, or is there a different direction that you could move in? And if you discover that with the 7 of Swords, you'll be successful faster. I do also get something here about needing to keep something to yourself right now. He is doing something delicately. He's carrying those swords by their tips. So his action is very delicate. He has to be very careful. And, if you're doing anything new right now, it might be one of those things where you kind of want to keep it to yourself for now until it's not so delicate, right? Like if you're building a business, maybe you want to get it to a certain point before you share it so that it's kind of like built up, it has a solid foundation. Same thing if you want love. Again, some of you could have love coming in here. And I feel this is saying like it might be one of those things that you want to keep to yourself for now until it gets going because you never know. I don't know. People are jealous. People might try to ruin it. You have the Temperance card. There is something here about mixing two things together. I'm a big fan of that right now because of Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is innovation. And usually when like the intersection of two ideas is where we find genius, right? And Aquarius is genius. So like things like, you think about like PayPal, right? It's like banking with the internet. It was like one of the first places where you could send money over the internet. So, again, that is these two cups mixing together. It's like, do you have two ideas for a business? It's like maybe you need to mix those things together because, it might be genius, the mixing together. You might have two skills or two different skills that you don't think are related. And the Temperance card sometimes to me says you need to practice alchemy and mix those two things together because you might create gold by mixing two things that seem different, and maybe they are, but you never know what you could discover. So, that's what I'd say here with the Temperance card. I really see you doing this probably for the next 20 years almost. You have the 5 of Wands. A lot of people have had the 5 of Wands again this week as well. We're in the Mars retrograde shadow, and Mars retrograde can definitely bring about conflict, problems, challenges with people, things like that. I always say the best thing to do during Mars retrograde is to stay out of it and completely avoid it if you can. Sometimes there are certain conflicts that we can't avoid, period. And I would just say that, in those conflicts that you can't avoid, taking the higher road or being the bigger person, even if it's hard, is always the right answer during Mars retrograde. With the 7 of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, being flexible. Again, I think that for the past 3 years, we basically have been talking about fixed signs needing to focus on flexibility and, being flexible. So the Knight of Wands is spontaneous, just like the Seven of Swords. Like, instead of going to war, he's stealing the swords. In the Knight of Wands, if he's building something, he doesn't care how the job gets done. He's willing to, be flexible and look for other ways. If he needs to make changes, he'll make changes. If he needs to do things differently, he'll do things differently. And I feel like that's what that's saying. With the Temperance card, you have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords, I feel like no rushing here. I don't feel good or bad. I kind of feel in the middle with this Knight of Swords here. I feel it's saying, take your time. The Temperance card is patience, right? So I think it's saying don't rush. I would also say with this Five of Wands that the Knight of Swords can be like people rushing into your life, trying to tell you something that maybe isn't true. And it's not that they're lying. It's just the fact that sometimes when people think the sky is falling, then they're going to rush into your life and say like, oh my God, there's this huge issue going on. And so the Knight of Swords reminds me to slow down, especially when someone rushes in. Like, when someone tells you something, you have that reaction where you get super excited and you start freaking out right away. That is probably a clue to you that the sky isn't really falling. So, again, when someone gets us into that heightened state, I think that the Knight of Swords says we need to slow down and not jump to conclusions. So, again, if you have any of those moments this month, I would definitely say, slow things down and get the facts. With the Five of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. Definitely could be a new person coming in for some of you. Could be any sign. I mean, you have basically everything here. But the Ace of Cups could be a love offer. Five of Wands could say that this is a person where there is like competition for the person. So, again, you could be attracting like an attractive person, or maybe you're attracting a person who's like on a pedestal or something. And I would say like, don't put this person on a pedestal. I actually feel that this could be a really good person for you here, just based off this reading, if you want love. But I think that, again, if you put them on a pedestal, you'll probably freak them out. In the area of messages from your future self, you have this Work Through Your Fears card, 2 sevens, right at the beginning. And you also have this card that says, look at the big picture. Yes, if there is one piece of advice that I would give fixed signs, it's to back up, right? The look at the bigger picture card kind of says we have to get a bird's eye view of everything that we've accomplished so far. It kind of reminds me of like Eight of Pentacles energy. You don't have the Eight of Pentacles here, but I'm just saying. Eight of Pentacles has done a bunch of work. He's almost done. He has like one more pentacle to complete. But maybe sometimes he needs to like zoom out and he needs to look at those pentacles in front of him and see how much he has done. And the reason why is like when you put things into perspective like that, then it makes whatever you're about to do much more easy, because you're like, oh, I did all these hard things in my life. I've already accomplished so much. What I'm about to do is like nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I feel like that's what that card is saying. You have the Ace of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Hermit. You have 2 aces here. 2 aces is a new beginning. It's also a definite yes to any question that I haven't answered. But the Ace of Swords is like a victory, and so I feel that there could be some sort of victory coming in for you. Also, on the Temperance card, we have this crown back here, and this is the path to glory. So the Temperance angel could easily step off on this path and get this crown, and that crown is above some mountains. And then you have this crown right here above some mountains. So I kind of feel this is saying that there's something like that you want to accomplish, and I would just go for it. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles could be a new person. With the Ace of Swords and all this other stuff here, this could say that you're going to start communicating with a person, or you could just start a connection with communication. And like I said, it could be a new person. Page of Pentacles is also amazing for education. And again, I'm a big fan of education for you, Aquarius, because it's like learning new things will help you innovate, and the Seven of Swords is all about finding other ways of doing things in your life. So anything you want to accomplish or anything you want to overcome, like the more you learn, the more likely it is that you're going to find an answer or find a way to accomplish it, whatever it is. You have the Hermit. I do feel it's time for you to come out of Hermit mode. So if you have been in Hermit mode, it might be time for you to like socialize more, get out into public, meet new people, all that other good stuff I think would be very helpful. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Eight of Swords. Like, open your mouth here, Aquarius, is what I feel. I feel like you want to say something that you're not saying, or I feel like you're, something. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say there, Aquarius, but it's like, I think you need to open your mouth. If that message is for you, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. Again, it's time to shine your light. The Hermit is hiding the star, which is you, in his lantern, but he needs to shine that light out all over the place, and he needs to show the world how special he is. And he's learned a lot. He's been on this long journey. He's climbed to the top of the mountains, the top of the mountain, the top of the mountain here 3 times, 4 times maybe if we count this other hermit. And he has earned his right to shine his inner light because he's gone on the difficult journey to find it. And I think you need to realize that. With the Hermit, you have the Death card. Yeah, things are changing. So, again, this is pretty good because we have the 2 pillars from the moon right here. And the sun is coming up between those 2 pillars. So it kind of says that you are going to be shining your inner light, or you are going to be, opening your mouth or putting things out into the world. We also have this king here, and the king is dead underneath the Death Rider. And it basically says that even kings die. Even things that we think will last forever, sometimes they don't. And so a lot of you could be going through this transformation. And again, it makes sense with this card that says revolutionary change. When a king dies, it is a revolutionary change. On a personal level, in your life, it basically would represent the death of establishment, which I talk about all the time with you because the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is the death of establishment. So there could be something that has been established in your life for a long time, and now it's changing. You have this miracle creation card. This is in the good stuff and this fire spirit. So I think that you have the opportunity to create something great. You definitely do because you have the Ace of Wands and you have this fire spirit, and the fire spirit would represent kind of like creation and taking action on something that you're creating. So I think you are creating something, like creating a miracle maybe. You have the Page of Cups, 3 of Wands, and Ace of Wands. Page of Cups definitely could be an admirer, or you are the admirer, whichever. Take it how it resonates, but this could be a new connection coming in for you. The Page of Cups, even if you don't want love, and even if you do, he has this fish in this cup here, and I always say that fish might not exist. We don't actually know if that fish is real or not. It might be part of his imagination, and it's kind of like his dream that he needs to manifest on Earth. And then you have the 3 of Wands, which would be expanding towards your dream. And the 3 of Wands, luckily for you, is coming up in the good stuff. The 3 of Wands is a good card. There's it's not a bad card, but I kind of feel like the 3 of Wands says that what are we waiting for? It's like you are looking at those boats that are on the ocean there, and you have to take action to get on those boats. He needs to get on those boats because he's standing where he's always been, and those boats represent an opportunity for adventure. But showing up in the good stuff, it would say that maybe you are going on an adventure, or that you are expanding into your true self, or into the universe, whatever you want to call it. You have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. Definitely could be a passionate new beginning coming in for you, and it could be anything. I think that it's probably something that you're creating with that miracle creation card, or whatever. What did it say? Yeah, it did say miracle creation. So there you go. I think you could be creating a miracle. The Ace of Wands is a flash, though. It is a spark. It is something that happens quickly. So we have to keep putting wood on the fire with the Ace of Wands. I always like to remind people of that. So again, if you are creating something that could be a miracle, like a business that could make you more money, or a new connection, or whatever, it says keep it growing. With the Page of Cups, there you go, 4 Wands. So whatever. Here, Aquarius, definitely could be a person that you could marry. Some of you might already be with this person, I feel. So if you're with a person, definitely could be a person you commit to. If you're hoping to get married in the future, definitely could be marriage. With the 3 of Wands, you have the world, adventure, getting out into the world. With the 3 of Wands, this would also represent taking your place in the world, especially with the Hermit as well. So we have to shine our light to take our place in the world. And again, Pluto and Aquarius for you is going to be all about shining your light, showing the world what makes you special. And that could be through, whatever, starting a business, starting a YouTube channel, just taking action on your hobbies or whatever you enjoy. The list goes on and on there. With the Ace of Wands, you have the 2 cards. You have the Ace of Wands. You have the Ace of Wands. You have the Hangman and the Emperor. Some of you could be attracting like a real emperor here. The hangman could say that you're attracting something that you've been waiting for a long time. The hangman has put himself in hangman mode to gain enlightenment. So a lot of you maybe have gained the answers you need on something, and now you're getting the result. You have this love card. There you go. Definitely could be a new connection coming in for some of you. You have this key card that says successful outcome to your problems. All the mountains in this reading. Mountains represent obstacles, but mountains in the tarot are not obstacles that we should avoid, because where do you get the best views? At the top of a mountain. So mountains represent obstacles to overcome in the tarot, and if we overcome them or climb to the top of them, then we get something for it. You got two cards here as well. You have this cobweb. It says protected from negative forces beyond your control. So if you're worried with the 2 7s, which would represent internal fears that don't exist, this would say that you are protected and will have a successful outcome. You also, I always clarify these people cards. So you have this fair man card, says dealings or relationships with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. And you have this turkey. It says someone is behaving stupidly. So again, Mars retrograde, I would be careful of people who are acting weird. I would just be careful of it. You have this boat. It says money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. Yeah, money looks pretty good here. I think there are money changes coming in with the 7 of Pentacles. Like you're taking more control over your financial destiny, which is obviously a good thing. And finally, you have this rat. It says someone working against you behind your back. Again, Mars retrograde is classic working behind people's back energy. I wouldn't really worry about it. Usually during Mars retrograde, if someone is working behind your back and if we give them attention, it's like not a good idea. So if someone is doing something behind your back, I would just ignore it, really. Unless you can't ignore it, but I still would. So looks really good here, Aquarius. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.